Coming up, the Monster Truck Nation Winter Nationals heats up as the big boys head to the Huston Astrodome in Houston, Texas. And they are all here. John Pine and Bigfoot, Michael Harper and Carolina Crusher, Grave Digger, piloted by Dennis Anderson, Steve Hess and Nightmare, Eldon, the racing points leader, Eldon Depew and Taurus, and a colossal field of 16 monsters will battle it out in the Houston Astrodome next. For the Monster Truck Nation Winter Nationals, we are here in Houston, Texas, where the monsters will return to the Houston Astrodome. Hi everybody, I'm Tom Todd, and we have got a great U-turn track here and a great field of trucks. But first, let's take a look at the track. We got an astonishing U-turn course. First, they're going to start, go over 2 cars, then go over a set of mobiles, then come down this straightaway, make a hairpin turn, then come down a short straightaway, coming to the final set of cars. Then they got to get over that hole, and this is going to be a driver's test because they got to get over a very wide gap to get to the finish line on the final set of cars. Well, let's take a look at this colossal pile of trucks. First, we'll start off with the Tom Mintz camp out of Paxton, Illinois. We'll have Tom Mintz himself in the spiked body of Maximum Destruction. That truck, I think, has been running pretty good for 2015 this season, but he's not alone tonight. He'll also have a teammate with a Ford body with a Chevy motor, Phil Foster at Hot Wheels. We've seen him on the M.T.N. tour before, and you'll know who's next. It's our Racing Points leader, Eldon Depew, driving Taurus out of Granite City, Illinois. Next up will be the Jersey Outlaw, Nick Rossi, out of Pennsauken, New Jersey. That's a big bad Ford, and making his debut. This guy is a veteran, but he's making his debut here on the M.T.N. tour. Out of Columbia City, Indiana, we have Steve Hess in a GMC body truck called Nightmare. You may remember Nightmare last year in the M.T.N. Monster Truck Challenge Series, being driven by Andy Hoffman. Here in this series, it'll be driven by Steve Hess. Who's next? Fred Schaefer's taking this show off, so who else will be behind the wheel of the Barefoot Chevrolet? Well, guess what? Guess who just came out? Who may or may not be related to Steve Hess. Please tell me whether or not that is true in the comments below. Scott Hess in Barefoot. Next up, out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, the most feared and most popular monster truck in the world with the fan base, of course, Dennis Anderson and Grave Digger. We know who's next. A guy who's had a pretty tough season at the start of 2015, Dave Marquardt and Excalibur. And for the first time since the Holiday Motorsports Spectacular, guess who's back? Brian Barcel in the Little Tiger Chevrolet. Next up is King Crunch. You guy you probably have seen last week, out of Woodlands, Texas. We have King Crunch, driven by Scott Stephens. Here's another guy who's making his return since the Holiday Motorsports Spectacular at the end of last year. Last year in the M.T.N. Monster Truck Challenge series. Please welcome this man from the winner. This man to the M.T.N. Winter Nationals, Lyle Hancock in the WrenchHead.com Chevrolet. Next up, we'll have Michael Harper in Carolina Crusher, and the guy who really put on a pretty good performance for his new Monster Patrol truck. I love that Frankenstein paint scheme. Paul Schaefer driving Monster Patrol. Here's another guy making his return, M.T.N. return, Alan Pizzo and Predator. And you know who the next two are. Gene Patterson making his return in the Snakebite Ford, and his teammate substituting for Rich Hooser after that wild spill in Minneapolis, John Pyatt and Bigfoot number 4. Well, here's how the first round pairings will be set up. It'll be Monster Patrol taking on Wrench Head, Steve Hess and Nightmare taking on Nick Rossi and the Jersey Outlaw. Taurus will be racing against Predator. Excalibur will be paired up against Bigfoot. Carolina Crusher Mike Harper will be paired up against Phil Foster and Hot Wheels. Snakebite will be taking on King Crunch. Little Tiger will be taking on Barefoot, Scott Hess. And Max D will take on Gravedigger. That could actually be the battle of the evening right there. Alex up here in the booth with me. Sonic will be with you in the pits behind the scenes and on the track. And this could be, and here's our first race of the night. Monster Patrol taking on Rich Head.
Paul Schaefer with that new Monster Patrol truck. This is a driver's course, so this should be a good course to show what that new Monster Patrol could do.
You're right about that, Alex. As they come to the final jump, Paul Schaefer is ahead, and Paul Schaefer is going to put Lyle Hancock away mighty early. First race of the night. Look, Lyle Hancock's probably going to have to wait for freestyle, and what a clean, beautiful, crisp, clean jump that Paul Schaefer performed. He just flat out outdriven him on that course. All right, now here's our second race. Nightmare, Steve Hess taking on the Jersey Outlaw.
Steve Hess, definitely not a newcomer to the sport. He is definitely a veteran. We just haven't seen him for the past several years.
You're right about that, and so far this race is pretty much neck and neck coming into the turn. Steve Hess really out in the lead coming into the final turn, but here comes Nick Rossi, the Ford, coming back. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, man.
Oh, man. That was a very close race. Steve Hess actually had the lead coming into the turn, but coming to the final set of cars, Nick Rossi and the Jersey Outlaw had so much speed that he actually driven past Steve Hess in the air coming over the cars.
You're right about that, as both of them are both of those trucks have spring-loaded suspensions. Jersey Outlaw with more speed bounces his way to victory. More round one racing action coming up. Stay tuned.